we bring a certain flair of empathy to the way things are. I also think to an organization in general, and as well as the clients that we work with. I think there's the aspect of um, trying to understand the other person's perspective more, which is not to say that men don't understand. That's certainly not a place that I'm coming from. But I'm seeing that as women, since we often are in caregivers' role, we often look at a scenario from our perspective as well as another person's perspective. It sort of changes the way we approach our work as well. So I do think that the feminine side of us could be a man with their feminine side, and we all women have our masculine side. But I really think that when our feminine sides are more pronounced, we are much more empathetic and cool, and we put much more energy in understanding somebody else's problems a little more, and which leads to deeper solutions. It's a great idea to, don't we say that, to judge every person for who they actually are and not like a general subset of a much larger group, right? We all surprise each other, don't we? Men surprise women, women surprise men. So it's a great idea to have open-ended conversations. What are you planning to do? If you're worried about, you're so full about somebody having a young baby and not being able to cope with work, it's great to have those conversations and figure out how you would navigate them together rather than cutting people out. The one takeaway that I've figured that however tough things might seem right now at this given moment, right? I've learned to tell myself that this is going to pass. This is a matter of time. One suggestion that I like to share with, so many women who are younger, who work with me or elsewhere, very active in some women entrepreneur groups, and people ask me, how did you cope? I think one coping mechanism is that when you're overthinking, stop overthinking. And second, never get out of the game. Once you get out of the game, coming back, I'm not saying that it's difficult to come back. What I'm saying is the struggle that you have with yourself to come back, right? Because you took a call, decided to move out of the game, and then you have to make a call, make a decision, take a few steps to come back from the game. That is the biggest barrier that I see a lot of women facing. It's not the capability, it's not the family support, it's the kind of narrative we build to ourselves, oh my God, how am I going to do this? It helps that we never get out of the game completely. And don't let anybody else decide that for you, right? Don't let anybody say, oh, you shouldn't be a stay-at-home mom. Or don't let anybody else say anything. Don't let labels, you're just who you are. I think diverse perspective helps every industry. So if an organization, be it a retail organization or any organization, or even like a small team, which is a subset of a much larger organization, I feel that diverse voices always enrich the output that we create. Diversity cannot just be gender diversity. It's so much about people thinking completely differently. A woman with a Tier 2 upbringing, women with an urban upbringing, is diversity within women. If you have fewer women, I think you should think that maybe, it's a brand new world, if I may say, and I totally am enthralled by the way younger women express themselves. And if you're not listening to them, you're missing out on a huge customer base. So if you have them inside, there's a good chance that you will attract them from outside. It's a thriving industry. And to anybody who I suggest, whether they want a career in fashion part of retail or any, selling part of retail or designing part of retail, or like you said, a brand custodian, way of creating something new, retail is such an amazing place. Because whatever you do, you sort of almost get an instant feedback. You sort of see how people are receiving it. It's like really exciting. when I look at it from a retail design perspective, it's extremely satisfying to work in retail. You know, there's a higher purpose, even if that's business. To me, business is a great higher purpose. It generates so much livelihood. And when you are sort of one piece of the larger puzzle and you make it happen, it's extremely satisfying. So I would say women should go for it. There's just so much we can contribute, like to any other industry, but this is like really exciting.